Hey guys, and welcome back to scripting tutorial number 5, which is about, well, you can call it interpolation, you can call it tweening, you can call it easing, it's the same thing. So it's all about, well, easing style, just from one side to another in somewhat like a smooth way, not like instant teleporting, but like some smooth lines and stuff. And there are like at least a couple types of tweening or interpolation or easing styles. First one is UI tweening, that position and stuff and size. And another one is with camera, and well, there is also a tween service. I can show you. There is like tween service that lets you tween certain values, and it's pretty useful. And I think I'm gonna show that one also. But first we have GUI tweening. So what I mean by saying that, for example, as you can see, there is like poorly made, don't judge me, inventory, which is just frame and text label, nothing too special, and it's right here, but I wanted to appear from like up from the top or from bottom or wherever into this position. So this is how you would do this. First, well, I already made like layer that it would be useful for camera. So, but I don't really know why isn't like defaulting when you create like script instead of that print hello world, which is useless. Never mind. Let's get started then. So first, you need a frame. So frame, yeah, we have it, and then all GUI objects have like a couple functions: position, size, and size and position. So size and position probably obvious. It wins both things or interpolate. So yeah, there is size and position and both, as I said. And yeah, we have like a whole bunch of values. Using to and position, using direction, using style, time, float, full override, function, callback. I'm gonna show you how you would use it because it's kind of confusing. Well, for some people, for others it's not confusing at all. First, well, I can show you both, but first let's go small and I'm gonna show you just position. So that's tween position. First, you would want to make a point where start position means. So it would be like from the top. So well, it's optional, but if you want to make like a loading screen appears in some cool ways, it's possible. So you would just change its position. And if you watch my previous tutorials or some other tutorials about that, you would know that it requires udim2 value, not udim, just udim2 and the new, obviously. And where exactly you would want to put this? Well, it's up to you, but I would put it like above right here, something. I need to change my position that it would be like, something negative, obviously. So first it's 0, 0. Oh, not 0, but position of x would be this, so it would be 3 to 1. And I didn't really wrote this, it just happened to be like that. And that's kind of coincidence. Just saying. And my position would be like 0.5. Well, it could be right, but it needs to be negative, I think. I'm pretty sure. Well, there's the anchor point. Yeah, it has to be negative, and it has to be on top. Okay, next we have 0, and here it is our starting position. It should be somewhere on the top. And then we would want to tween this. We would want to appear in that position. You can make it automatic with, for example, like getting like value from a UI object, and then tweening it to that position, and this would work. But it's not necessary. So yeah, now we would start to do stuff, you know. So first it's the end position. Well, end position is this. So it would be well, I can write 0.321 like that, comma 0. It doesn't matter if you didn't try it 0 right here, because system just knows that it's 0. But if you didn't try it 1, then it will still assume it's 0. So yeah, that's just easier way to do things. A bit faster, a tiny bit. Just one press of a key. Sometimes you may need to write like more zeros with decimal places. And this is where it could be like a bit faster. This is the position, right? Well, yeah, I might have made an error, or maybe a mistake, because it has to be udim2, and you probably noticed that, or not, I don't know. It has to be udim2, so that's only one value, this udim2, one position, and position to be exact. And now we we easing direction, so it's a string value. It can be either in or out. Also, it's case sensitive, so we would want to do this. Well, I'll show you an example later from Roblox wiki. It's really helpful with everything, with this tweening, tween position and size stuff. And this, since it's going from here, so it's in. If it's going back here, it's out. So in this case it would be in, and then second argument would be easing style. Right here you see all those easing styles, and first is linear, another one is sine, back, quad, tween, bounce, elastic. And hard to remember, so you can just look up into wiki, and it's visually showing you everything. As you can see, some of them actually get like above those and well, not end positions, but above starting positions at the back. We just get out like that. And you may want to choose one of these ones. That's in, that's out, as you can see. Well, if you want to make like something like standard, casual, or wherever, just some standard inventory appearing stuff, you would want to choose linear. But if you want something fancier, you can go for elastic. That's a bit sometimes too fast. You can go for like those quad, and quint. They also are cool. They're just exponentially appearing. So I think I would choose I don't know, maybe quad, just a bit slower. And this is Q. It kind of looks weird, to be honest. Like it looks like an egg with a boot or a shoe. Yeah, never mind. And another argument is the time. How much time would it take to for this interpolation or tweening to finish. So default is 1 second. You can make it like any time you want. I'll make it, I think, like half a second or something like that. That would be enough. There are like two other arguments, which is first override, and another one is tween status, and that's one of the tween services functions. We just get like tween status and to take it to this, and you can stop tweening, but it's I'm not gonna show you that. I just want to make things a bit simpler, but I tell you default value. So default override is false, and a function is like nil. Also, well, I can tell you that override function just well, not function but the bool value override. It tells you if this tweening function or operation or something like that can be interrupted by other things, other tweening functions, and I think you can find some uses for it. But I can just drive through, but it wouldn't really do anything because it needs multiple of those tween position things to do. You would need multiple of these, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep things simple. Although that's expert serious, but... And as you can see, interpolation finished and everything works. Another interpolation method or interpolation type or tweening type is with camera. So in this case it would be called interpolation, and yeah, I already prepared some stuff, but in order to use interpolation with camera, and I'm gonna use term interpolation because it's its function. As you can see, interpolate, and it needs to be a descriptable camera type. So I'll change it like that. Camera type, and then equals, there's a enum like that, but camera type, this one, it has to be scriptable. So because obvious reasons, because I'm scripting it right now. So now I would write cam interpolate, and it has a lot of functions. Now I'm gonna show you the interpolate function. So it takes a few arguments, obviously. I can show you like right here. Coordinate frame, that is C frame and position, D frame and focus, and then duration, so float number. Float is a number. So we will write. First, let me tell you what I want to do. I want that the player would be in exact the same. Player's camera would be in the exact same position as this part. Well, if you don't want to do this, you can just hide it if you want. Just make it like transparent. Nobody would see it. And that's the easy way how to make like cutscenes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, especially with cameras, with anything being without bugs or stuff or errors. And this would make your game, I can't say smoother, but a bit more visually pleasing, I guess. So this is how you would do this. First C frame, so we want to take part C frame, so it would be the par dot C frame. Another one would be end focus. And that would be also workspace dot part dot C frame. Well, if you want your camera to focus to something else, you can make it focus to something else. And for example, this is how it would look. Let's just say like I'm a cameraman, right, who holds the camera somehow in this height. Doesn't matter. So this is my position. I'm in the brick, right, and I'm focusing in this something else. So for example, into like part that is non-existent right here, right? And this is, I would just, the view would be like this. If I'm focusing in the sky, into this part from this, it would focus like that. It's kind of simple, and this is kind of how camera in the studio works, but you can move it freely, so it's pretty cool. And I think you can make it in the like actual game to move the camera freely. So now this, right? And you can make like comma 1. I'm just gonna put a wait right here, so my player would load and I would be able to show you everything. And let's play it. Alright, it's me, and I'm going into the part. And I'm going in the part that because it is not transparent, it's opaque. Like that. Also, I have no idea where am I actually. No, really, where's my camera? That's kind of weird. Okay, this what happens if you make your camera scriptable. You just appear in some place. If I like try to make this transparent, let's see how this goes. Alright, it's still blacked out for some reason. That's kind of weird actually. I don't know why it happens like that. I made it anchored, so we didn't like fall off the world or something. But it's kind of weird. So besides that, I think it's pretty cool looking. As you saw, it just moved in that position nicely, and it doesn't really need to be like C-frame of actual part. You can make it like focus it to like C-frame dot new 0, like 10,0, and that would be like 10 studs from the ground, and you can make it to focus into something C-frame dot new. Well, you can actually, I'm gonna make it so it would focus into the part, and that would be like first with that part dot C-frame. Right, and I'm somewhere, but I don't really see the part. Well, it's right here, it's just transparent. I just made it so. But it focuses into it and can't really move the camera. So it's pretty cool, actually. And that was it about the camera interpolation. And a really cool thing, at least on my opinion, because you can make a lot of cool cutscenes, some action stuff, and it's pretty cool. So I recommend you using this function with cameras. And let's move on to next thing. So this is what it does. It just creates a tweening for this part that you can't see. It's right here. It just makes everything smooth, really smooth. And there's Tween info. That's a probably new thing to you, and the Tween service create is probably new. Also this probably also new, and other than that, it's everything familiar. So we create a part. This should be ignored. They just destroy the old part because reasons. Doesn't matter this part. Now we create a part. When we change its position to part in position, and then transparent equals 1, so it would be the same as this one. And also, if you didn't notice, I'm using script because it's with workspace and parts, so that's the reason. Now we create, we anchor it so it wouldn't escape anywhere, and we just put it into workspace. So this Tween service, there is a service like that, Tween service. We create a new tween. It's called a tween, and we choose it doesn't have to be a part, it needs to be any instance. So instances are every single thing. You can change every single property. Well, you can tween, and by saying every single, you can only change its any number, any bool value into true. Although I don't really know how would it work. If it's true or false, it wouldn't really make any smoothing between true and false. There's no such thing in Roblox. It's like superposition. It's like 10% true, 10%, 90% false. There's no such thing, so no idea. You can change C-frame position. There's also one property called rect. No, you don't get rect. You just get rect. Just as you can see, minimum and max, just corners, so you can just create rectangles with that. Then you have color free, you can change color, udim, udim2, vector2, vector2 in 16, well, all of these ones, except this one for some reason, although I don't really know how you would use it. Well, it's like in 16, so it's like hexadecimal or something. I don't know. What I mean, it just uses those A, F, B, C, D, D, not S, D, like that. It's a number, yes. So it's probably something to do with this. Now, that was all the values. So let's finish. This needs to be a table of all the values you would want to change. So this is how you do it, like containers that contain stuff. Those brackets. We have position, transparency. So finish. It's or a goal. You can call it wherever you want. So I want this to move this, and we want transparency to be 0 after 15 seconds. And I'm gonna explain how tween info works. So it takes like all the arguments that we learned previously, all those using directions, style, all those ins, outs, points, quads, and bounces, all that stuff. It also has like more stuff. Well, I can also display you. So first is ease and style. It would be like in or out, so this should be in. Then we have, I don't know, I could use like wind or maybe elastic. That would be cool. Elastic. Then easing direction. Well, it has to be opposite. First is elastic, then it's in, and then we have repeat count, so it can repeat this. And you can write any number in integer. You can't write repeat 5.1 times because it wouldn't really make any sense. So you can just try to repeat once, and then bool reverses. So you can do this reverse, so it's true or false. I don't think we need this, so it's false. And then delay time, you can delay it for some time. I can write like 2 seconds or something like that, 2.5, or you know, that stuff. So we don't want delay, so it will be 0. And that's all the tween info that it needs. Well, it's kind of self-explanatory. So when we create like a tween service, we don't create a service, you can't create a service. We create a tween that is used on the part that is created right here. And then we apply tween info, that all of this stuff, and then endpoints, all of that stuff. Well, you can also change color as I said, and that is pretty cool. Apparently you need to use enum, but it worked with strings. Well, if there is an enum, so you can always use it. Oh, that was elastic, right? And then enum dot easing direction, yeah, and then it's in out or in out can be both, so we need in. And yeah, if you see like if you see a string, if something needs like if there is not specified as string, sometimes in the wiki it says string, then it needs a string value like this. But if it says like in this instance easing style, that it probably refers to some stuff from enum. That's just my observation, so you can ignore this if you want. Okay, now as you can see I added some of my spice, I guess. I just made it so it would focus on that part. You can see right here, but it doesn't really do stuff because it's a bit too long, I think. So I can just change it to 3 seconds. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of interesting looking. Just repeat it twice, and I don't actually know how would it be elastic, like transparency. It would go from like minus something, kind of weird if you ask me. So we can, instead of transparency, we can change the color. It would look cool. Yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty interesting. Yeah, it just changes colors pretty quickly. Yeah, but if we change it like to I don't know, 10 maybe, or not 7 or something like that, it would make it everything smooth. Yeah, as you can see, it now changes it smoothly, and it's kind of freaking out, but it's pretty cool. And you definitely can experiment with that interpolation slash tweening slash easing style, and it's really cool, trust me. As you already saw it here, you can change you can tween any value. That is one of the ones I mentioned, and it's like C-frame position vector 3, all those vector 2s, the numbers, well, pretty much any number. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of unique once, and if you have any ideas for scripting tutorials or any video in general, you can just post in the comments. I'll definitely read them, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.